Are you looking to live in Bellevue, Washington? Well, in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the most important costs of living in Bellevue, questions that you may have, so you can get an idea of how much it might cost to live here. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I love helping you guys out. Those of you that contact me here off of YouTube, when you're moving over to Seattle or the outlying suburbs, I am an active real estate agent over here. So if you're coming over here and you're looking to purchase a home, feel free to reach out to me. Be more than happy to help you through that process, finding the right area for you to live in and finding that right home for you to purchase. But like I said, on this video, I'm gonna talk about Bellevue, Washington and the costs of living in Bellevue. If you've done any research yet, and you're looking into this area, you probably know Bellevue is really the most expensive area that you can live in. One of the most expensive areas you can be is right there in Bellevue for a multitude of different reasons. Great jobs like Microsoft right nearby, and you've got offices for Google and GoDaddy and Amazon that are pretty close, and high-paying healthcare jobs and plenty of other tech companies as well. Financial institutions. So there's a lot of high-paying jobs here in the Bellevue area. There's fantastic schools. One of the top-rated school districts here in Bellevue in the whole state that brings a lot of people in as well that want to be right here. So a lot that draws people in. Because of that, it is more expensive. Definitely more expensive than the national average, that's for sure. And really the most expensive area in the Seattle metropolitan that you can move into. So I'm gonna break down some different categories of cost of living to give you an idea of what it might take to live here. And we're gonna start with real estate, right? Real estate prices are the number one, and that's what fluctuates the cost of living more so than any other category is real estate prices. So this is really going to depend where in Bellevue you move. There's lots of different pockets of Bellevue that you can go into that are going to have different median home prices. Like I said, Bellevue as a whole has a median home price of $1.7 million right now. If you wanted to live in a more luxury area, the higher end area of Bellevue, you can move right to the north of Bellevue in Clyde Hill. Clyde Hill has a median home price of $3.8 million right now. Right next to Clyde Hill is Medina. Medina has a median home price closer to $5.2 million right now. So these are going to be your most expensive by far places to live in this area. Very expensive, but beautiful neighborhoods, beautiful homes, mansions, smaller homes, a lot of different options, waterfront homes, water view homes. So it's very expensive, but beautiful area to live. Or you could go to the other side to Northeast Bellevue, where the median home prices right now hover more around $1.2 million. Or you could go down south to the Lake Hills area where home prices are about $1.5 million. You could go to the southwest side of Bellevue, south of Medina and Clyde Hill, further down there, but still closer to the water, where median home prices are $2.5 million. Or you could go to South Bellevue in the Factoria area where median home prices are about $1.4 million right now. So you can see there's a wide range, a bit of a wide range here in Bellevue of different neighborhoods and what those expected home prices are going to be. All of these areas are going to have a lot of different offerings when it comes to real estate. Whether you want an older home that's maybe a smaller home or just an older home in general where you can go in and fix it up yourself. If you're looking for something that's a bit more of a project that you can go in and renovate yourself, that's maybe a 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s built home, those are all around Bellevue. If you want an older home that's already been done, that's already been renovated, maybe that home has a lot of character because it was built in the 60s or something like that, and it's already been redone, a contemporary home, there's lots of options like that. If you want a brand new construction home, something that's 2, 3, 4, 5,000 square foot, brand new home, you can find that as well. So there's a lot of options here in the Bellevue area depending what neighborhood you're in, but there's going to be no shortage of different types of homes and price points. As long as you're a bit over $1 million, you're going to have price points anywhere from, like I said, low million to 20, 30 million, right? For a waterfront home with a private dock that's 5,000 square foot home, and everything in between. There's lots of options. Maybe you want to be in Bellevue, but you're not really looking to buy a single family home yet. You could purchase a condo here in Bellevue. Median condo prices right now are $720,000 in Bellevue. Again, it's going to depend where you are. If you want to be downtown in Bellevue, really walkable, you want to be in a high-rise skyscraper building, your condo price is going to be closer to $1 million. Or if you want to be on the outskirts of Bellevue, maybe you're in an older building, a 1 or 2 bedroom condo unit that's nothing over the top, glitz glamour like some of the places downtown, you could find something closer to 500,000, 600,000, and everything in between. If you're coming over here and you're just looking to rent a place and you want to rent an apartment, you're really going to be looking for a 1 bedroom on the low end, 1,800. That's going to be on the outskirts of Bellevue, not downtown. You're going to be on the outskirts of the Bellevue area, Crossroads, or down in Factoria, something like that, on the low end for a 1 bedroom, 1,800. That's the low end. You can certainly find 1 bedrooms that are more expensive than that, newer buildings that are a bit nicer. In downtown Bellevue, for a 1 bedroom on the low end, it's going to be closer to 2,200 to 2,300. And then you can find 1 bedrooms for 3,000, 3,500 as well for some of these newer buildings, a higher floor with a better view, things like that. If you want a 2 bedroom on the outskirts, it's going to be closer to 2,500 to 2,800, and in the downtown Bellevue area, that 2 bedroom is going to be closer to 3,000 to 3,500. Again, it's going to depend on the specific building that you're buying into, the height of the floor if you're downtown, and the age of the building if you're kind of on the outskirts of Bellevue. So these are really what you're going to be looking at, anywhere from 1,800 to 4,000, 4,500 for an apartment, just depending what you're looking for. All right, so this is the real estate section. So next I want to move on to taxes here in Bellevue, specifically sales tax and income tax. So sales tax in the greater Seattle area is more expensive than the national average. We have a state tax in Washington of 6.5%. From there, every city is going to have an additional tax as well. So for Bellevue, the total tax is 10.1% for sales tax, 6.5% state, and 3.6% for Bellevue. So 10.1% total sales tax. Now, when it comes to income tax, the fantastic thing about living in Washington is there's no state income tax here. So you are going to save quite a bit of money by not having to pay that state income tax. All right, category number 3 here I want to talk about is transportation. I know that's a considering factor for a lot of people. So public transportation over here, there's a couple of options. You can take a city bus if that's something you want to do. It's only a couple of bucks each way, or you can get a day pass for a few bucks. Outside of public, outside of city buses, they do have the light rail coming in here. Now the light rail is our train system. It currently runs just on the west side, Seattle, right along I-5, so Seattle and whatnot. It has not gone into Bellevue yet. They are building right now into Bellevue, so it will be here very, very soon. They'll have a light rail station here in Bellevue and Redmond as well. So if you are working, maybe you're working in Seattle, but you want to live in Bellevue, you will be able to jump on that light rail and commute over to Seattle on that light rail. Now the cost of this light rail just depends on you. The actual cost of this light rail is usually $2 to $3 each way. There's kiosks at the light rail station where you can pay, or you can just pay on the app on your phone. However, in my experience, I don't know if this will change when it expands over to Bellevue. Right now, the light rail running all along I-5, they do not check tickets whatsoever. Anybody can walk on the train without paying, even though they say you need to pay. I'd say probably, I don't know if half the people that walk on don't pay. I always pay when I go, just I feel like I need to. A lot of people don't pay when they walk on. Either way, it's not that expensive, $2 to $3 each way. You'll probably spend more than that in gas when you're driving places. So that's something that's good to know when that light rail station does come in. Outside of public transportation, if you're driving your car, there are a couple of things you need to know if you're commuting. If you're going over to the Seattle area, depending what part of Seattle you're going to, there's 2 different ways to get to Seattle from Bellevue. Because you have to cross Lake Washington, you're going to have to go over one of the bridges. There's 2 bridges. On the south side, you have the I-90 bridge. This bridge is free to use. It brings you into the south side of Seattle. And traffic can get relatively bad here. It can get pretty backed up. But that's one way to get over to Seattle from Bellevue. The other way is on the north side of Bellevue. This is the 520 bridge. This brings you from North Bellevue to North Seattle, where University of Washington is. This 520 bridge is a toll bridge, so you're going to have to pay to go over to use it. It depends what time of day you go. The heavier rush hour times, the more expensive it is. So you could pay anywhere from $3 to $7 each way to use it, depending when you're going. So just keep that in mind. If you're driving over to Seattle, you may end up using that toll bridge and end up paying that. Now it's easy to pay. You can just get the good to go sticker and put it right on your windshield, and every time you drive by it scans it and can charge your account immediately, so it's a hands-off process, but you will have to pay to use that bridge. The other thing you need to know is 405. The Interstate 405 is the freeway that goes through Bellevue, brings you down to Renton, past Renton, and then brings you up to the Bothell-Linwood area. This freeway has a 15-mile span of toll lanes on the left side. Now, not the whole freeway is toll lanes. All the lanes on the right side, the 3 lanes on the right side, are regular lanes. You can use this freeway without paying a toll. But if you want to use the toll lanes to really beat the traffic, which is what I do whenever I'm driving on this freeway in the rush hour times, it's worth it to me to just take the toll lane and pay, because it'll save me 15-20 minutes on my drive. So keep this in mind. If you're driving in rush hour times in and out of Bellevue, you might want to use these toll lanes. Again, it just depends when you're using them. In the weekends and really off times, middle of the night, they're free. They're just open up as regular lanes. Or they could be $2 to $3 on some times, or they could be $8 to $10 to use these lanes. Now, this also depends how far you're going. You're not paying the same amount for going 1 mile on this toll lanes as you would for going the full 14 miles. So it depends how far you go, how much you're paying, but just keep in mind there are toll lanes here in and around Bellevue that you might want to consider for your daily commute. All right, and for the rest of the categories, I'm going to reference a site called bestplaces.net that does a really good job of breaking down costs in Bellevue and comparing it to the national average, so you can get an idea of what to expect when you're coming over here. One of those categories is groceries. It has Bellevue as 11% higher than the national average when it comes to grocery prices. Now, it's tough to say exactly what's factoring into this. One thing could be the amount of natural grocery stores we have over here, whether it be a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's. Those are, of course, more expensive on average than your regular grocery stores. A lot of people over here are health conscious and do shop at these stores, so I know that can increase those costs. But just so you know, be aware, national average grocery prices here in Bellevue are about 11% higher than the national average. Healthcare costs here in Bellevue are about 12% lower than the national average. We've got some great healthcare here in the Seattle metropolitan area, including in Bellevue. That's a reason a lot of people come over here for their healthcare needs, whether they're getting cancer treatment over in these areas or other treatment. There's a lot of great hospitals in and around Bellevue. Overlake Hospital is right here in Bellevue. Right on the other side of the freeway from downtown, so nice and close and convenient, but 12% lower than the national average for healthcare costs. And then utility costs here in Bellevue are about 29% lower than the national average. We've got, whether it's natural gas or electric heat, it's going to depend on your home, what type of home you have. If you have a home running on electric heat, it's going to be more expensive to run. In those winter months, you might be spending a few $100 a month to run your home on electric. If you're using natural gas for many of the aspects of your home, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. So it just depends what type of home you have, but 29% lower than the national average when it comes to those utility costs. All right, well, this wraps up my video on the cost of living in Bellevue. Like you can see, it's generally and largely due to real estate prices. It's higher than the national average. When you compare the rest of the categories, yes, groceries are going to be a little bit higher, but a lot of the other categories around here are at par or lower than the national average. So keep that in mind. You're really going to be focusing on real estate prices when you're coming over here. That's really what's going to be the more difficult end when it comes to the actual cost of living. But like I said, I'm an active real estate agent over here, so if you're looking to move over this way, whether you're looking to move right into Bellevue or one of the outlying suburbs, I'd be happy to help you with that transition, that move over here, figuring out the best plan to make that move over here and finding the right neighborhood, finding the right home for you to purchase. Be more than happy to help you out, but I appreciate you watching this one.